Hi, Krista. So it is no secret that I love dumplings. I'm a little bit obsessed, that's fair, and I have a lot of thoughts about them all the time. Because dumplings are the height of culinary excellence. Everything about culinary technology has been leading us towards the dumpling. Almost every food, I think, is an approximation of a dumpling. I even think that the sandwich is an attempt at a dumpling. But that is not the dumpling conspiracy I've come to blow your mind with today. I just want to talk to you about Eurasian dumplings. We're going to do a brief tour of Eurasia, and we're going to see some dumplings along the way. Prepare to have your mind blown. So let's start with the ravioli, because the ravioli is familiar. You can get it in a can, frozen, dried. There's so many ravioli available to us here in the States, and they're not in the ethnic food aisle, because Italians don't have an ethnicity anymore. I don't understand the science. Anyhow, the point is, ravioli, definitely a dumpling, but we don't think of them as dumplings because dumplings are sort of an ethnic thing. Otherization is a big part of what makes a dumpling because while dumplings might have, in the 19th century, been very much a homey food, people in America now don't even know what a suet dumpling is, and many dumpling traditions that have extant, distinct American varieties are not considered dumplings. The hot tamale of the Mississippi Delta, for example, is not broadly considered a dumpling, even though it totally is a dumpling. But I digress. I didn't come to talk about North American dumplings, I came to talk about Eurasian dumplings, and we're only a little bit of the way there, so we need to move east into Slovenia, which borders Italy to the east. So, in Slovenia, the first dish to receive a protected designation of origin was žlikrofi. What is žlikrofi, you ask? Why, it's a filled dumpling very similar to ravioli, but is sometimes filled with dried fruits and nuts, and so can be served as a sweet dish or a savory dish. Croatian and Hungarian filled knudli are very similar in they can be sweet or savory, but Hungarians and Croatians sometimes add potato to the dough. So in addition to wheat and egg, there will be some potato in the dough, which will make it slightly different and distinctive. So for those of you following along on the map, we went Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, and now we're moving north into Slovakia. And Slovakia brings us to the land of the pierogi, or piroshki, or pirohi, or piroi. It's usually called a pierogi in the United States because that's the Polish spelling, and there are a lot of Polish people who live here. Poland is north of Slovakia, but there are pierogi analogs in Slovakia to the south, and then Ukraine to the east, and to Belarus to the northeast. However, we're going to skip those countries by going to the Kaliningrad Oblast, which is part of Russia, to the north, even though it's separate from the rest of Russia, because I just want to leave a brief aside about blintzes. Filled blintzes are totally dumplings. And then I want to discuss how the Russian pelmeni is probably associated with Mongolian buze. Booze, I don't speak Mongolian. Buze is often filled with cow or yak or lamb or some kind of ground meat, and sometimes some vegetables as well, but it's a very meat-heavy dish. And in this way, it is related to Nepalese momos, which are also very meat-heavy. In Nepal and Tibet, they eat momos, which are probably derived from Chinese jiaozi. And jiaozi are sort of the mother dumpling. They are what we know as pot stickers. If you go to a Chinese restaurant and you order a pot sticker, you will get something recognizably dumpling, distinctively Chinese, and probably the great-grandfather of the ravioli. There are so many dumplings that I would love to talk to you about, and I just do not have time. I could do a whole video about the knish, which is totally a dumpling, and I love it so hard, but I just don't have time. What I hope I have shown you is, like the jiaozi and the ravioli, we are much more alike than we seem, and I hope that one day our mutual love of dumplings will enable us to transcend petty national borders. Krista, I will see you tomorrow.